not being able to participate in political, social, group, community, or health, or any health activity. Hello, hello, hi guys. This is your girl TTK. My name is Ttkjinadu. I'm back again with another Telling It Just the Way It Is chat series. So guys, stay tuned. Grab a cup of coffee, popcorn, relax and enjoy. Let's chat. I came across this man's video on social media. It's pretty controversial. This will be the second or third time I will see this man's video. And this video is more like a reaction because some of the things this man talked about in his video made sense, and some other things I disagree with. And I am going to talk about it in my video, and I'm going to elaborate. I am not just reacting to the video, but the things I disagree with have ended up causing so much havoc and problem that leads to divorce in so many homes in the UK, especially with people who share the same idea as this man. Anyway, guys,
I look at others like the Chinese. They can't speak English very well, and their women may be driving very expensive cars that belong to their husbands. And I look at the Indian women who don't speak English very well, and they're not interested in changing their accent or their undertone. And they wear their native dress, that thing, and everything to work. I look at Korean women. I look at other women. They have this sense of cultural identity. African women do not have a sense of cultural identity whatsoever. Little money and the marriage is over. One thing
Nigerian women are also proud of their traditional outfits. At those Nigerians parties or African parties or Wambe parties, you see them wearing their traditional outfit, not American or British outfit. So in a way, I do disagree with what that man said in the aspect of dressing or outfit.
Another strange thing I've noticed about them is you will never ever, for all my years, I stayed in the United States, I was born here. In all my years of staying here, you'll never hear the Indian women dragging their men to the American court system for divorce. It is our women that use the American court system to destroy our men. They bring the court in to help them destroy the men. You will never hear Indian women doing that thing. You will never hear women from China taking Chinese men into the American court system to destroy them with divorce. But when it comes to African women, East Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, when it comes to African women, they just drag their men into the court system.
That's the Indian women and the Chinese women never drag their husband to court. I think is the wrong assumption. That only African women drag their husband to court. I think is wrong. Sometimes we need to be in the midst of these people or to be in their community to know what is going on. I used to share the same assumption long time ago, but that's changed. I later realized there are other issues and there are other factors. First is the cultural differences, and you have the geographical factor. And then the individual issue. I'll just put it into those categories. The issue of cultural differences is predominantly among people who are raised with a certain kind of lifestyle, ideology, and traditions, which is common among Africans, Asians. Some years ago, when I was on holiday, I met this Indian lady, very friendly, very nice lady. We started talking, and she revealed so much. And that was an eye-opener. She said she was set free on her mother's dying bed. That her mother said to her, you can marry anybody you love. That I never ever love your father. And she had 8 kids, 8 children with the woman's father, including her. Yeah, she had 8 children for this man. She said she was forced to marry this man. That just confirmed what I was saying. You have to be in their midst or in their community to understand or sometimes to know what is going on. It is not the case for all Indians. Some love their husband, but that is her story. She was set free on her mother's dying bed. Her mother told her, marry any man you love. She said her mother was never ever happy. She was just there, obedient wife, submissive wife. We must first appreciate countries like the US, the UK, that they accommodate cultural diversity. I mean, like these countries such as the US and the UK, they're open to accommodating others into their modern, secure, or stable economy, at least in previous years. So this economy will not, or this system or lifestyle way of living in these countries will not change for us. We have to adopt. We have to readjust so that we could easily blend in. And my emphasis is concerning what this guy said and what I see happening around me is that a rigid man or woman with a strong African mentality, state of mind, or way of living will not fit in if they're not willing to give up something or readjust to their way of living. We need to change. When I say change, that we need to change. Change here does not mean letting go of your heritage, roots, traditions, culture, customs. No, that is not what I mean. Far from it. Far from it. In this change in this context means learning, education, training, like learning their ways of life, their lifestyle, so that we can fit in at work, in school, and so that we understand each other's language. When I say language, in this context, I don't mean speaking language. Yes, it is important, but I don't mean speaking language. I mean the expected demeanor, expected working ethics, expected etiquette. If not, if all these things are not there, there will be language barrier in terms of speaking and in terms of all the other things I've mentioned so far, and there will be civic disengagements, and we will not fit in. This leads to so many things: discrimination, restriction. It will stop you from doing many things. When I say civic, I mean not being able to participate in political, social, group, community, or health, or any health activities. It just restricts you in a way. I'm just highlighting these things for those who are so rigid in the way they think and rigid in the way, in their kind of lifestyle, that believe or that kind of agree 100% with this man's ideology. Years ago, I used to work with these Indian colleagues who live with her in-laws. I mean, at the time, she just got married to her husband and they were saving up to get their own house. So they live with the husband's mom and family, her in-law basically. Once in a month, once in every month, this my colleague likes to leave early on Friday. And that means, when she finally explained it to me, that means it's her turn to cook. In the family, in the house, they have a cooking timetable. So our brother-in-law, sister-in-law, mother-in-law, husband, they all get to cook, each of them every week. When it's her turn, she has to cook, and that cooking is a lot for the whole family for the week. So she likes to leave a little bit early on Friday once a month so that she can start her cooking early. I get to know the day she told me about it. The good thing about this family is that her mother-in-law had to adhere to this cooking timetable. She stick to the cooking timetable. And I believe if they're back in India, she won't have to. She won't have to, but they're all working and they understand that they can't put that burden on one person. So they decided to share the responsibilities. If you see them outside, you will not know. It's not written on anybody's head. This just contradicted what this man was talking about. He just contradicted what this man was talking about. And I'm not saying it applies to all Indians. I'm just giving you an example of what is going on in some homes, and you will not know unless you're being told. I mean, this is just to emphasize the factor of location, the factor of cultural differences, and the fact that this is also to emphasize the fact that this family willingly adjusted to their reality, adjusted to the differences, adjusted to a new way of life. I don't know if it's new, maybe they've been in the UK for so long, but at least they adjusted. They recognize the need to share. They recognize the need to work jointly. They will have to at one point let go. They all let go of that. Oh, this is the woman's role. This is the man's role. This is what you should be doing. And that make things work. Can we for 1 minute imagine them? Just imagine them not going through that route, or imagine them not adopting that system. What would have happened? I don't think they'll be living together. They might be forced to go and rent, and then saving to buy their dream home will happen, but might take
United States, because the man is changing diapers, he's washing the plates, he's sweeping the floor, he's
house chefs. If this African mentality will work very well in a place like, in a case where both of them are working, and you still expected the woman to do all the house chores, and this woman is paying the bill with you.